Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and I saw The Devil Wears Prada 2. It was fine. Now I was curious about this movie. I'm a big fan of the original. I think it's really funny, sharp, witty, dare I say fabulous. And I didn't think the movie itself looked bad from the trailers. It looked entertaining and funny, and it was nice seeing these characters back after so long. But I did feel it was a bit unnecessary. The last movie ended things perfectly. I didn't think it really warranted a sequel, and I also didn't get a sense of what this movie was about from the trailers, so that's concerning. And while yes, it's not as strong as the first one, I still found it to be a pretty solid, entertaining follow-up. Now normally I start off with my positives, but this time I'm going to start off with my negatives. Groundbreaking, I know. But in seriousness, I think my problems with this movie lie largely with the first half of the movie. I felt like it was struggling with a common case of sequelitis, just a sequel that was just struggling to justify its existence. We gotta play catch up with these characters. We gotta find some way to get the ball rolling for this movie. It really seemed like, we were kind of forced to do this because, the last one has made such an impact, and, they gave us a lot of paychecks. And the story here definitely feels a bit more all over the place. The first one was really simple and to the point. This one, there's a lot of subplots, a lot more moving pieces going on here, and it causes the film to feel a bit overcomplicated and a little unfocused at times at certain points. And maybe this is just me, but I felt like this movie lacked the bite or the sharpness of the first one. I think that movie's bite and, dare I say, ferociousness in how it presents its characters in the fashion industry gave it its personality. This one feels, I don't want to say sanitized, but a bit more toothless. It doesn't have the edge that I think the first one did, and I think that's why I felt a bit less about this movie than the first one. But fortunately, the rest of the movie is pretty solid. I will say that this movie is very funny. That is something that remains true with both of these movies. They're very, very funny. The comedy is still on point. I laughed a lot throughout the movie. Not a lot of big laughs, but certainly enough laughs to call this really, really funny. Again, a lot of the jokes landed with me here, and I will say the second half greatly improves over the first half. That's where it loses its sequelitis problems and finds its footing, certainly its focus. I still think we could have cut out some of the subplots and characters. Some of them felt a bit unnecessary, but overall, I think this second half definitely, again, finds its footing and gets things back up to speed. There's some big reveals and some certain moments that definitely left me a bit unexpected, not shocked or surprised or anything, but definitely caught me off guard here and there. Characters are still pretty interesting and entertaining. Obviously, the core five from the first one are still the main cells here. They haven't missed a beat. I loved seeing them interact and come back together after all these years, and the story definitely takes them to some interesting places. There's some new characters that don't really contribute much, which is a shame because I wanted to explore them a bit more. I thought they were pretty interesting, and I was hoping they get a bit more to do in the story, but they were still fun additions, and Miranda is still excellent and fabulous as she was in the first film. Obviously, Meryl Streep gives a strong performance, and there's one line she says to a certain character in the second half that was such a gut punch. The entire theater just went, ooh. I'll give the film that was such a good line. And lastly, the big thing that surprised me about this movie was how the message was handled. The movie actually is about consolidations and mega mergers and how it affects journalism, and considering what's going on right now, it actually kind of shocking how topical and current it is. But I thought it handled this really effectively and well. It never felt forced or out of hand, and it felt like it came from a place of sincerity. And again, I think they executed it very well and integrated it into the story pretty effectively, especially in the second half when things get better. So overall, Devil Wears Prada 2 was okay. It has a lot of problems, especially with the first half. I still think it was an unwarranted sequel that failed to justify itself, but thankfully the second half picks up the pace and really makes up for a lackluster beginning. If you're a fan of the first one and want to see these characters back on the big screen, I'd say go for it. There's still enough entertainment value to get behind with this movie, but if you're hoping for something on the levels of the first film, I think you'll be a bit underwhelmed. So those are my thoughts on The Devil Wears Prada 2. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.
You're the one, yes, you're the star. We need you back.